Ben, I like the gas issue because it's one of the issues that links both power and oil and gas nicely, right? Based on all he said and all you know, when we discovered gas, a lot of people said it would be a game changer for our power supply. A lot of people were very excited. Are you still optimistic that gas is what will give us the, so that when they put up that map, that we were all black, we will become white? Ben Boakye, sorry, I'm wasting time, but Ben.
Okay, so maybe I'll start whilst you look at
yes, Ben.
That data. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for that detailed presentation. You asking us to try and critique what he has said.
Yes.
The point I will make is that if I were to do the same presentation, you will see some data differences, you will see some different opinions, because getting information in Ghana is pretty difficult. And this would have taken him a lot of time to put this simple presentation together, because we don't have data. I was in Abidjan last week, and at the ADB meeting, and one investor told me he wanted to come to Ghana to set up a fertilizer plant, because he saw online that Ghana was selling the gas for 50 cents per MMBTU. I said, sorry to disappoint you, but we don't sell our gas at Makola, we sell at Carrots. So we are selling our gas for 9.8, 8.3, and government now says it wants to do 6.5. And when that was announced, one of the companies who are involved came to ask me, how is government going to do that? I said, I don't know. So data is quite, challenging in our context. Gas, I've mentioned the price issue. If you want to ensure that your development is run by gas, generate power with gas, feed into the petrochemical industry as we want to do, allow industry to tap into gas. Price is an important determinant of that. And what you can do with gas and your plants should factor in the price of the commodity that you are using to run your development. Our price can only attract certain specific industries. For power, we can manage because we are selling to our own people, whether it's expensive or not. We can say that is the price, the power companies will have to buy it, and they will generate electricity with it. But if you're talking about the petrochemical industry, Nigeria, which is next door, is selling to fertilizer companies at 1.5 per MMBTU. Your 6.5 will not fly with any business proposal to a bank. So if your vision and your idea contemplates setting up a fertilizer plant in Ghana, you may have some few people coming around talking business with you, they want to do plants, but it's not going to fly, because no bank will put its money in there. Because there's 1.5 metric ton capacity in Nigeria, an extension in the next 2 years to another 3.5 million metric tons. Beyond that, Dangote is also doing 1.5 million. That is an oversupply for Africa. So who has a business in Ghana to do fertilizer plant? And I think the problem we have in our country is that we are emotional about things, and we don't plan to deliver what we want to do. It's not about emotions, it's not about wish. It's about having a plan that delivers an outcome. And what you see on paper are usually wishes, a list of shopping lists. We want to do this, we want to be industrialized, but it doesn't come without having a plan that speaks with data and what you have available. I disagree with the projections for gas consumption, because one, the price is not right. It could be right when the fundamentals change drastically, when maybe God blesses us with an abundant discovery that brings the price so cheaply. Then of course we can be thinking about increasing demand, because we're increasing demand because power needs it, industry needs it. But at that price, industry doesn't need it. Even the power sector may not need it, because now, if you look at small businesses that understand the growth in renewable side, cold stores in Tema and around us, they are now moving to renewables. You go there, they have a whole field of solar panels. They are moving away from the grid. The grid is not attractive. So that projection for electricity demand is not going to happen. You understand? So if that is not happening, and the only sector that can use your gas is the power sector, your projection for even the power sector for gas consumption is not going to happen. So as a country, we have to plan and plan well. Stop the usual dominance. Everybody wants to dominate a certain segment of the market. You go into the petroleum sector, the MPA has its own enclave, the Energy Commission has its own enclave. Everybody is a dominant player in that sector. And nothing coordinates, nothing talks to each other. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
And a bit about what Marcia talked about local content, just a bit on that, and then we can move on. You have a local content regulation that says we want 5% upstream. Like we are struggling with Exxon right now to produce that individual who will pick up the 1%. Exxon is not going to be here for that Christmas like we had with Cosmos and Talo to give sweat equity. They want to ensure that the person you are bringing can cover 5% of equity because they're going to do exploration. If the minimum capital requirement for drilling 2 wells is $100 million, bring your $5 million. That is what they're going to do. And you're going to struggle. And I will not advise any Ghanaian business struggling to survive in this environment to go and risk their $5 million in an exploration. So it doesn't happen if you don't have the companies that will give the 5% on a silver platter. So what do you have to do to have the framework that establishes Ghanaians to have that capacity to pick the 5%? So you don't just go to town and have 5% claim in the law and therefore bring it. It doesn't happen. And you will not get that, to actually bring the capacity that you want to do. Because ultimately you want to ensure that Ghanaian companies can be capable to, in the future, venture into exploration themselves. So if you are giving 5% free, nobody gets the capacity to be able to explore.
Can I take 2 quick comments on that? A minute.